Feeling responsible for someone else's happiness can sneak up on you. It's like constantly checking their mood before you decide to act, walking on eggshells just to keep things calm, right? How many of us has done that? Let me know in the comments. I know what that looks like. You start over apologizing even when you've done nothing wrong, right? But you do it just to avoid tension. What are you really avoiding? You ignore your own feelings and needs because their emotions take up all the space. You try to fix their problems so they'll feel better, even if it drains you. And when they're upset, you feel guilty, like it must be your fault or your job to try and fix it. You say yes when you really want to say no, just to avoid disappointing them. You start thinking, if I could just love them better, maybe they'd be happy again. No, doesn't work. It becomes a cycle where their emotions dictate your peace. And here's the thing. It can feel normal when you're, used to being the strong one, the fixer or the peacemaker, especially if you grew up like that. But beautiful, that's not your job. You're taking on something that you're not going to be successful at. You can love someone, support them, and walk beside them, but you are not responsible for their healing. You're not responsible for their mood or their joy. I'm so happy to understand that the responsibility lies with me because now I can do something about it. But people don't want to take responsibility for themselves. But that belongs to them, and it belongs to God. So letting go of that pressure isn't selfish. It's freedom. It's saying, I'm here for you, but I will not lose myself to save you. And that right there is what healthy love truly looks like. I don't know what person would even want me to lose myself just to save them. Right? So let's get to the heart of a lot of unhealthy relationship patterns. It is not, once again, our job to make someone happy. It's not your job because happiness is an inside job. It comes from within, from self-awareness, healing, emotional maturity, and ultimately a relationship with God. No matter how much you love someone, you can't fill the gaps in their hearts that they refuse to face or heal. Right? You can't be their therapist, their savior, and their emotional caretaker all at once. It doesn't work. When you take responsibility for someone else's happiness, you end up carrying a weight you were never meant to hold. You start managing their emotions at the expense of your own. And it happens little bit by little bit. You lose yourself trying to keep them okay. But beautiful, the truth is, real love doesn't ask you to abandon yourself. It's not your job to keep someone stable, satisfied, or secure. That's their work to do. We all have a work to do. Your role is to love, support, and encourage, but from a place of wholeness, not obligation. God did not create you to be someone else's emotional lifeline. He created you to walk in partnership, not pressure. Right? The moment we believe it's our job to make someone else happy, guess what? We stop living in freedom and we start living in fear. Fear of what? Fear of disappointing them, fear of conflict, fear of being abandoned. I'm going to say that again. The moment you believe it's your job to make someone happy, you stop living in freedom and start living in fear. Fear of disappointing them, fear of conflict, fear of being abandoned. So no, sis, it is not your job to make someone happy. Your job is to walk in truth. It is to protect your peace and love in a way that honors both him and you. Because the right person won't need you to be their happiness. They'll come with their own joy and be ready to build something beautiful with you, not on you. Sounds good to me. Now, I want to give you a couple of powerful scriptures that align with everything that I just talked to you about in this video. So in Galatians 6:5, for each one should carry their own load. This reminds us that we are responsible for our own emotional and spiritual well-being, not anyone else's. You can support, like I said, but you are not meant to carry the full weight of another person's happiness. And then in Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Sis, guarding your heart isn't about being cold or closed off. It's about knowing what to protect and what not to carry. You're called to love from a place of wisdom, not self-abandonment. Right? In Matthew 11:23 says, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So this is your invitation to lay down the emotional weight that you were never meant to carry anyway, right? You don't have to be someone's savior, okay? And in Jeremiah 17:7-8 says, but blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. They will be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that does not fear when heat comes. Your stability isn't meant to come from a relationship. It comes from trusting God. When your roots are in God, you won't feel shaken by someone else's storms. And Isaiah 26 says, you will keep in perfect peace all who trust in you, all whose thoughts are fixed on you. Your peace doesn't come from keeping someone else calm. It comes from keeping your eyes on God, the God in you. That's where your emotional safety lives. Right? Right. And where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom, there is liberty. Real love and real healing should feel like freedom, not pressure, not fear, not constant emotional managing. Okay? If it's suffocating you, God is not in that. Because God is our refuge and strength and an ever-present help in a time of trouble. You are not someone else's source of strength. God is. And God is the one who will help you release what was never yours to carry. God will help you not, he'll help you. He ain't going to do it for you now. All right? So let's not get that twisted. He has put everything on the inside of you for you to do for yourself. It is already done. All right, beautiful. I love you, love you, love you. Go ahead. Make sure to like, to share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the little bell so you don't miss when, my next video drops. All right? And go ahead. Let your girlfriends know. Share this with, if it ain't for you, share it with someone that you know needs to hear this video. All right? I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.